back to the channel. I'm Big B, of course. In today's video, we are going to talk about episode 2 and 3 of the new season of Mandalorian, which is season 3. Now, the reason I'm doing these two episodes together is because episode 3 wasn't really about Mando, and we'll get to that in a minute, but that's the whole reason I'm doing these two episodes together. Alright, so episode 1, we left off with him getting with Bo-Katan, and Bo-Katan telling him, you know, exactly where to find the salt mines if he does go to Mandalore or tries to go back to his home planet. Episode 2, that's kind of where it picks up. He goes back to see his, the one that helped build his starship, because he's looking for droid parts so he can fix the navigational droid to take him back to Mandalore. Now, when he gets there, she can't find the droid parts because they're hard to find, but she has a navigation droid, that has star maps in it that can take him to Mandalore. So she talks him into buying him, so he does, and now he's off to Mandalore. Now he gets there, and he doesn't really want to get out of ship, so he sends the droid out there to get samples. The droid ends up falling down in a cave or something like that. Mando goes to investigate because he has a pressurized helmet. He goes down there to investigate, and he gets attacked by some creatures. He defeats the creatures, gets the droid back to the ship, and then after he gets the samples back, the samples come back as the air is breathable. So it's not poisoned like everybody thought Mandalore was. Everybody thought the environment was too poisoned to be breathable, so no one could be there. So obviously it's okay. So he goes a little further into the cave to find the salt mines. As he's exploring, he finds a Mandalore helmet. So when he picks up the helmet, it's actually a trap because there's a droid in there who is baiting people or salvagers. He's baiting them and then killing them, using them for blood. He basically drains the blood out of their bodies. So he catches Mando. So Mando basically tells Grogu, "Hey, get to Bo-Katan, let her know." So that's basically what Grogu does. Gets in his little pod, flies back to the ship. The droid basically autopilots the spaceship back to Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan's droid reads the navigational map that was on the ship, finds out where Mando was at, goes to save him. Of course, she saves him, and then she takes him to the salt mines. Of course, again, we're at the salt mines so he can restore his honors because he has to bathe in the water. Well, as he goes into the water, I guess because of all the war and everything, the bottom of the cave has actually collapsed, so it's no shallow pool anymore. It's really deep. Mando doesn't know this, so when he goes to step out in the water, sinks instantly. Bo-Katan sees this, jumps into the water after him, gets him, and on her way up, she passes this big creature with an eye. And that's all she sees. So she gets out of there as fast as she can, gets her and Mando out of the water, and she keeps asking Mando, "Hey, did you see anything down there?" And Mando's like, "No, you know, I stepped in and I sank straight to the bottom," because he didn't have his jetpack on. He took his jetpack off so he could bathe in the waters. So after all this happens, he goes back to where the Mandalorians are hiding out at, and and they're all like telling him, "Hey, you're not allowed here because you're an outcast now because you took your helmet off." And he's like, "I have proof that I bathed in the waters of Mandalore." And they're all calling him a liar. There's no way. And he's like, "Well, I got proof." So they take him inside. He gives her the vial of water that he got. She pours it in her little Smith's vat, and it starts changing colors. So she confirms that he is telling the truth. So she tells him, with that being said, and because he did bathe in the waters of Mandalore, his honor is now restored, and he can now rejoin the sect. Then she looks at Bo-Katan, And she goes, what about you? Did you bathe in the waters of Mandalore? And Bo-Katan said, yes. And she goes, have you removed your helmet since then? And Bo-Katan said, no. And she goes, well, then you are too part of the sect. And until you remove your helmet, you will remain part of this sect. So now Bo-Katan is part of the sect. Which I think she was trying to get back to the old ways anyway. And that's kind of where they leave off with episode 2. And then episode 3. So, okay. Episode 3 really didn't have anything to do with Mando or Grogu. What it did have to do with is the doctor who created the cloning process for the Clone Wars. So basically, this whole episode is just showing you what happened to the Empire after the New Republic defeated them and disbanded them. And basically what they did was all the Empire soldiers that surrendered and whatnot, they were sent to an academy where they were retrained, repurposed, and, until they got their Empire's ways out of their heads. And then after that, they were sent to a living facility where they lived with other rehabilitated Empire soldiers. And then they were put to work inside the New Republic, whether it be military, research and development, or wherever it may be. But they would use these ex-Empire soldiers, and the minute they broke a rule, they would go back to the academy for rehabilitation until they saw the ways of the New Republic, pretty much. So basically, it just lays out the story of this doctor and how he gets rehabilitated and goes in, and then this other Empire soldier, I guess she has a grudge, basically sets him up, makes him look like he's working for the Empire behind the scenes when it's really her, and sets him up, and then basically gets him arrested, and that's the end of the doctor. So that's basically what the whole episode 3 was about, is basically just showing you what happened to some of the soldiers that were on the main villain of the first season of The Mandalorian. I can't remember his name right now. Just it was on the tip of my tongue too. But anyway, so basically it was all the people that was on his ship helping him. It just shows you what happened to them after Mando had defeated him, took the saber from him, and Moff Gideon. There we go. Moff Gideon, baby. That's his name. So it's basically the doctor and everybody who worked for Moff Gideon in the new Empire. So when Moff Gideon got defeated, the Empire was disbanded once again, and that basically was showing what happened to the soldiers that were part of his ship. They basically ended it there. Now, episode 4 does drop this week. So I probably will be doing an episode 4 video come this weekend, so be looking for that next week, along with some other videos that we've been doing, and hopefully those will be dropping within the next week or two. So, but as far as Mandalorian, that'll be it for tonight. So stay tuned for my next video coming up on episode 4, because hopefully we return back to the original storyline, which I prefer, because I'd like to see where it goes from now. Because now that Bo-Katan is part of the sect, I'd like to see where this goes. So once again, thanks for coming by the channel, checking out the videos. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification button, so you stay tuned to all our videos that we drop as soon as we drop them. And once again, thanks for stopping by Heroes Palace. Have a good day.